The views and ideas expressed on this show are strictly of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas of the listeners.
Are you ready for an hour of power and leadership? Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and build on being an effective communicator. Let's turn up the motivation, inspiration, and the power with your host and coach, and help me welcome Ryan Gomez.
Welcome back to all our national and international listeners as well. It's great to have some of the Facebook messages coming through. Well, great. I mean, we're talking about technology. We're talking about, getting yourself out there, and how do you get your presence out there? How, what are some of the things you need to be able to, as a business, to be able to get yourself out there, and some of the things the keys to be able to say, hey, you know what? Here I am, Ryan Gomez, the Ryan Gomez brand. How do you get that out there? Now, these days, gone the days when you get out there and talk one-on-one with people and you say, today online has become one of the most powerful engines, as a matter of fact, to be able to get yourself out there. And these days, we're hearing more and more about these success stories and the internet and how online is helping many businesses reach, larger markets, generating more income for them, as a matter of fact. Well, joining me today is none other than one of our speakers, as a matter of fact, for the leadership or for the Entrepreneur Summit we're having on the 9th of March at Fountain Gate Hotel, which we are having from 9:30 in the morning right up to 5 p.m. So one of the 5 speakers. Without further ado, please help me welcome Derick Mildred. And Derick is the owner of Synergize Consulting and First Page websites. Derick, welcome to an hour of power and leadership.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you this morning?
I am very well. I'm very well, Derick. And look, it's an absolute privilege to have you on the program and being one of our speakers for the event itself, which is the Next Generation Entrepreneur Summit coming up on the 9th of March. Now, we're talking about online, we're talking about online and online profiling and the success stories that people have online, as a matter of fact, and you are the expert in that, as a matter of fact. So tell us, tell us a little bit about, you've had businesses in Melbourne over 15 years, and you've been involved with websites. How did you wind up with clients all around Australia?
Well, the short answer is online profiling. I positioned myself online as best as I could. And what literally happens these days, to give the audience an idea of what they should do, is basically if you go out and you Google yourself, anybody in business, if they type in their business name or their personal name, they'll see how they present on Google by what shows in all the Google results that come up. And online profiling is when you have a look at how you present on Google and as well as other places online, and you basically position yourself with a consistent message that gets the point across and your specific point of difference, if you've got one, to your target market, your target audience. And then it comes down to a matter of making sure that message gets out there as often as possible, as best as possible, and literally just talking to people. But the interesting thing is when you get the online profiling right, you get a lot more inbound inquiries, and that can make life a lot easier.
Absolutely. And, I've known these days, even for my business, as a matter of fact, to be able to get myself out there and get the presence out there. Online presence is you can have such a powerful impact for your business. And, branding as such, has gone to another, level, as a matter of fact, with online profiling, as a matter of fact. So, you've built websites. I mean, you've owned the First Page website, which is helping people build their websites. As a matter of fact, now websites these days, how powerful are websites these days? But the most important thing is to be able to get yourself on the first page, as a matter of fact. So what I tend to do is when I go on to Google, I don't go beyond, let's say, the second page. The second page, people say first 3 pages. But to be able to get yourself on the first page of Google, that is an absolute key, isn't it? Because that's where people are, and people are what people are looking for.
That is very important. Let me put it to the audience this way. When was the last time you actually searched for somebody beyond the first page? usually, unless they're looking for a specific company, a specific business, or a specific website, people generally do not search beyond the first page. So if you want to be noticed, if you want your phone to ring, or if you want the emails to come in, or if you want those inquiries, you've got to be on the first page for the right keywords, for specific search terms that are related to your business and what it is that you offer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so how do you actually get, I mean, look, I don't want to go too much in depth with how do you get on the first page of Google. So what are some of the things? And so we talk about online profiling, right? We've spoken about online profiling. Now, what are some of the keys that you do to be able to get yourself on first page, on the first page of Google? So we're talking about getting your brand out there in the first page of Google.
To get people onto the first page of Google, it's a fairly complex process, and every website is different because they have different keywords or different search terms that they are trying to get the website to rank on page one on Google for.
Yes.
But there are specific strategies that one can use, and the way that it's looked at, if you look at what the competition are doing, you can say, okay, is there room in there to get people onto that page also, and if there is room, how can we go about that? If the other people are on page one, then we can do it. And so it's just a matter of doing a job that's better or that higher performs than what the competition is doing. The other thing, too, which is very important, is Facebook and social media, specifically Facebook, though, are competing head-on with Google, okay? And Facebook's actually winning. And the reason they are winning is because people spend more time on Facebook than what they do on Google.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, and so what's happening now is people are spending a lot of their efforts, a lot of their time, and the beautiful thing about Facebook is you can actually schedule your posts. So people are spending a portion of their time and effort on Facebook, getting out to that target audience, their message, details about their business, the services they provide, the benefits that they provide, how they can help people out there. And the interesting thing, too, about Facebook is that you can target your message very specifically to the right target market, the right people who actually have an interest in what it is that you have to offer. And that's quite exciting.
You know, we've seen that from time to time when we talk about keywords and we talk about target market, we talk about all this. Now, just going back a little bit, now you're passionate about helping people realize, what online can do for their business, right?
Yes.
So why are you so passionate about that? Tell me a little bit about it.
Look, I've been in business for myself the better part of over 20 years now, pardon me. And I can remember many years ago, if you wanted to get your brand out there, it required a lot of money. You had to have quite a significant budget into that.
Yes.
And the options, they were okay, but they were very expensive, and you didn't really have much choice. You had print media in the form of newspapers and magazines and the like. You had electronic media in the form of television or radio, and then you had outdoor, which was billboards, etc. And if you would go to some of these companies and you say, who's going to see my ad? The responses or the answers that they gave you were very generic. They were very wide, okay? And then along came Google to start with, and then along came social media as well a little while later. And they managed to narrow down the targeting. So, and the beautiful part about it is you can decide your budget. You can put an ad up on Facebook for $10. Okay, $10 a day you can have an ad up on Facebook.
Yes.
And you decide what you want to spend, so you don't need huge budgets. You don't need to throw massive amounts of money at it. And so that opens the whole thing up for basically anybody in business. They can promote themselves. They can get their message out there.
And, but getting the help as well, to be able to get that support, to be able to do that is the absolute key as much as we can put an ad up on Facebook or to be able to do that. I think a lot of people can do that, but in order to get the right advice and the right channel, to get the right target market, to get your message across. And that's the key. And that's where you come into play, where you help people, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Because it's a little bit, not complex, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. And so we basically show people the ropes. We give them some coaching, and we show people exactly what to do, and then they either get us to continue on with it for them, or they take over and they can do it themselves. It's entirely up to the client. But it's a world out there. It's quite exciting, the way the whole world has opened up, where you can target people who have an interest in your product or service and what it is that you actually offer for your business. You could be a hair salon, let's say, and you want to get your brand, your message, your special offers out to people just in your area, just in, say, a 10-kilometre radius. Pardon me, I'm a little bit croaky this morning.
That's
if you
okay.
want to get your message out to a 10-kilometre radius around your hair salon, you can easily do that on Facebook. If you want people to only see your ad when they're looking on their mobile phone,
Yes.
you can do that on Facebook. Let's say you want to target women aged between the age of 25 and 45 with a special offer for Saturday morning for your hair salon on their mobile device within a 10-kilometre radius on your mobile phone, then you can easily do that.
And, I get this a lot of times, Derick, and small businesses, when I talk to small business owners, so I'm talking about, just small business owners, and they say, hey, you know what, Ryan, I mean, it's... I ask them, what's your website, or what's your Facebook page? They go, oh, it's I don't have a website, I don't have a Facebook page. I don't think we need a website, as a matter of fact, because we're a small business. Now, how key is it for these small businesses to have this online presence?
Well, let me put it to you this way: when people want to know about your business, they look it up on Google, and what's going to come up mainly is, or the most important thing, is going to be your website.
Yes.
Okay? So your website is a little bit like the cover of the book. It's what creates the first impression of your business that people are going to see. Okay? When people want to see how you interact with your clients or customers, that's when they're going to have a look at your Facebook page. Okay? So you really do need both. It's very important to have both. And what's more, if you haven't got them,
Yes.
then you haven't got a presence out there. So what are the people who are looking going to do? They're going to find the next guy.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a matter of break and win and lose in your business, isn't it, Derick? And it's you could see that all the time. And for example, there are local businesses up here, when I can talk about, that really promote their products on their Facebook page. And like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. As a matter of fact, yesterday evening we were sitting around in the lounge, the family, and we were saying, okay, very tired, just had a long day. Let's kick back and go and have something for dinner. And also, what can we have for dinner? I mean, we've got the local stuff like the Maccas and the KFCs and all that stuff. We said we've got something different. And we pull up this Facebook page and we say, oh, what's locally something nice that's happening? And we had a couple of businesses, couple of restaurants, small restaurants actually, put up some great specials, put up some great stuff, and said, wow, that looks nice, something different. And pretty much chose between one of them and went down to one of those joints and had a nice meal. But you see, this is where I feel also, like you said, businesses are losing out. So if there's, let's say, I'm taking 50 restaurants around, where I live, and we have one or two putting up a lot of the stuff that's happening in the local, in the local suburbs in the evenings. I mean, that's where families are looking on Facebook and saying, hey, or looking online and saying, hey, this is where we want to go. So the other businesses technically losing out on a potential, let's put it this way, close to about $120 worth of revenue of yesterday, what we had for dinner.
Yep, it's exactly what happens. And it's interesting because people think to themselves, well, okay, if I'm a restaurant, for example, you're just talking about restaurants, what do I actually put up on Facebook? And the simple answer to that is experience. What people experience when they come to your particular restaurant is what you put up on Facebook, so that you can show other people in your target market, your target audience, what they're going to experience as well.
Yes.
And so when I say, so what are people experiencing at your restaurant? It can be patrons sitting down enjoying themselves, having a meal. It can be somebody having a birthday party, somebody having an anniversary, somebody there for a special occasion of any kind, somebody just out there for a romantic dinner for two. Any kind of situation, any kind of reason, any kind of experience that people are having in your restaurant, you can basically put it up on Facebook and you can show others what they're going to experience when they come to your restaurant.
Absolutely. And, if you pretty much hit the nail on the head there, and it's important that people and businesses, small businesses, realize that you're listening out there, it's important that you get that online presence happening. It's not hard, isn't it, to keep updating something like a Facebook page. It's just a matter of a few seconds. You just post something up there, what's going on, and what's the local trend, and so it's very easy to do something like that, isn't it?
It is very easy to do, and the other thing which is quite interesting is you can schedule your posts. To give you an example, I have one particular client who is a hotel in New South Wales. Pardon me. He's a hotel in New South Wales, and it would take me not even half an hour to set up all his posts for a week, and there's about 16 or 17 of them that go up. And what I literally do is I schedule all those posts. And the reason he's got so many posts going up is because he's got so many different things going on at his hotel. And so those posts can be scheduled to go up at whatever time during the day, on whatever day that I choose to have them go up. And that's very easy to do. It's not hard.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, in saying that, just quickly, before we've got about 5 minutes or so before we finish the segment, what makes you different from some of the other people out there? Or let's put it this way: it's a tough question. I know it's a tough question, but what makes you different from other website designer companies or online profiling companies? Let's put it that way.
Well, the first thing is that I'm easy to talk to. I'm easy to get through to. I do actually answer the phone. And I actually have a part of my guarantee where I provide people a service and support guarantee. And what that literally means is if somebody sends me an email or somebody gives me a phone call and I'm unavailable for any reason, I will return that call within 24 hours. If I don't return that call within 24 hours, I'll pay them $350 for wasting their time.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, I've never had to pay out that $350. And it's not hard because all I've got to do is return somebody's phone call, okay, or return somebody's email.
Absolutely.
And I like looking after my clients, and I like talking to people. And so that's one thing that I use to actually stand out. In fact, I have a client right now who is thinking about pulling his websites from his previous web designer and bring them over to us because when he tries to set up a phone call with his current web designer, I should say, he can't set up a call with her until about a week or 2 weeks down the track, okay? And so he's frustrated by that, and he said, I'm seriously thinking about pulling my websites and bring them over to you. And I handle all these social media stuff, and one of the things that I do provide with my clients is I give them a 100% money-back satisfaction guarantee. If they don't like the website that I build and design for them, they don't have to pay for it. And I also guarantee in writing that I will get it on to page 1 on Google for search terms related to their business, for specific keywords related to their business.
Wow. Your listeners are listening out there. Well, and that's why it's important to come and hear, Derick Mildred on the 9th of March, that is, at the Next Generation Entrepreneurs Summit we're having it at Fountain Gate Hotel, let's put it this way, from about 9:30 to 5 p.m. on the 9th of March, which is a Friday. So look, some great speakers that will be presenting on the day, and Derick, you're one of them. And look, what will our listeners or the audience expect on that day from yourself?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fantastic day, and one of the things that I would like to cover is I'm going to be talking a lot about social media and how people can actually use it to help their benefit or help benefit their particular business. What people can expect on the day, they can get some insights, some tips on how to make business development and marketing work for their business from people who are actually doing it, from people who are actually generating the results for their own businesses. And we've got some great speakers on board, and we're set for quite an exciting, interesting, fun-filled day. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Derick, it's been a privilege and a pleasure having you on the program. Now, once again, I won't mind if you want to put out your details. So how can people contact you?
They can contact me on via my website, First Page website, or Synergize Consulting, if they like, or they can call me direct on 1300 55 6165.
Thank you, Derick. It's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure having you on the program, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Ryan. Have an amazing day. Have a great weekend to everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
There you have it, Derick Mildred on the program on an hour of power and leadership with me, Ryan Gomez. And look, Derick's going to be one of our speakers for the day itself. And look, if you want to get some great insight and knowledge to how to build your business and online profiling as such, there's a lot happening, isn't it, in the social media world at this stage, and businesses are itching to get out there and say, you know, what do we do, and how do we structure things, and how do we strategize, and how do we make things happen for our business? And you've got to come down to the seminar. So you're not only going to hear from Derick Mildred, who's going to be talking about online profiling and how to get your business out there, which has helped a lot of businesses around in Australia get to the first page on Google. First page on Google. Wow, there you go. So Derek's going to be giving you some real great strategies on how to build your business and how to get yourself out there. Well, we've come to the end of the segment. It's been a privilege and a plumb pleasing pleasure speaking to you on 97.7 FM KC Radio. We are locally on the dial, which is 97.7 FM. And we are streaming live on the web. That is all the W's, www.kcradio.com.au. Now, if you want to jump on my Facebook page and get yourself registered for the Next Generation Entrepreneur Summit at Fountain Gate Hotel from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 9th of March. Get your seat, get yourself booked, and get yourself a seat. And look, get the word out there. It's going to be an absolute blast where we have some great speakers, great information to build your businesses and take it to the next level. That's it for me for now, and it's been a privilege and a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you until next Saturday, right over the top. This is Ryan Gomez signing out for now. Bye.